In this video, we're going to talk about congruent segments and angles. And when we use the word congruent, we mean two figures with the same size and shape. The symbol we're going to use for congruent is going to be an equal sign with a similar sign on top. So the combination of those two signs, starting with the equal sign, we know from algebra, it basically represents that our figures have an equal measure. The similar symbol that we're referencing in geometry means that our figures are of similar shape. So when you see this figure in geometry, it means congruent. When we talk about congruent segments are segments that have equal lengths. So let's start with segment XY and WZ. We're going to say that these are congruent segments at maybe 10 centimeters and 10 centimeters each. So we can write that segment XY is congruent to segment WZ. And the way we're going to mark this off on our figure is we're going to put 1 slash and 1 slash through our congruent segments, XY and WZ. Now let's connect Y to Z and X to W. And let's say that these are 8 centimeters and 8 centimeters. So now we have another pair of congruent segments, but these segments are not congruent to the original XY and WZ. So we want to say that YZ is congruent to XW, but we want to differentiate and say that these segments here, YZ and XW, are not congruent to our original pair, XY and ZW. So how are we going to do that on our illustration? Or we're going to put 2 slashes and 2 slashes. So this is how we name and label congruent segments. Now let's look at congruent angles. Congruent angles that have equal measure. I'm going to draw 2 angles. So this will be angle SRT, and this will be angle LMN. Let's say that each are 40 degrees and 40 degrees. So we have a pair of congruent angles here. So we can say that angle SRT is congruent to angle LMN. And the way we're going to mark this off on our figure is we're going to put an arc and an arc in the interior of our angle, and then 1 slash and 1 slash. So we've got our angle here, SRT, congruent to our angle here, LMN. Well, let's draw another angle off of this. So I'm going to draw ray RU here. I'll put 100 degrees here, and I'll draw ray MP here. I'll put 100 degrees here. So now the new angles that we drew are congruent here and here, these 2 angles in blue. So we can write those out. So we can write angle URS is congruent to angle PML. Well, it's 100 and 100. They're not congruent to our original 40-degree angle, so we want to mark that off. So the way we're going to mark this off on our figure is we can put an arc, and instead of 1 slash, we're going to put 2 and 2 slashes. So that's how we name and label congruent angles. Let's do a couple examples with congruent segments and congruent angles. All right, here we've got angle A congruent to angle B, so we can mark off angle A congruent to angle B. Angle A is 4x plus 2, angle B is 3x plus 8. So we know that the measure of each one of these angles, the measure of angle A, has to equal the measure of angle B. So the measure of angle A is 4x plus 2. The measure of angle B is 3x plus 8. Let's solve this for x. I'm going to subtract 3x and 3x. I get x plus 2 equals 8. We subtract 2, subtract 2. I get x equals 6. Let's find the measure of angle A now. So I've got 4 times x plus 2. I can put 6 in for x. So the measure of angle A is going to equal 4 times 6 plus 2. The measure of angle A is going to be 24 plus 2. Or measure of angle A is going to be 26 degrees. And since they're congruent, the measure of angle B is going to be 26 degrees as well. All right, let's do one example with segments. Segment AB is 3x plus 8. Segment DC is 5x minus 2. We know that AB and DC are congruent. So if we have congruent segments here and here. So the measure of AB is going to be equal to the measure of DC. So we can set up our equation. 3x plus 8 equals 5x minus 2. Let's solve this for x. I'm going to add 2 and add 2. 3x plus 10 equals 5x. Subtract 3x and 3x. I get 10 equals 2x. Subtract 2 and 2. And I get x equals 5. Now let's find the length of AB. So AB equals 3x plus 8. X is equal to 5. So we'll have AB equals 3 times 5 plus 8. And we'll get 15 plus 8. And we'll get AB equals 23. So if AB equals 23, then DC is going to be the same length at 23 as well. So this video was on congruent segments and angles. I hope this video helped you understand this concept a little bit more. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is Nick from First Coast Math Clinic.